Yo, what's up, fam? This is your boy, Robert Marshall. Yo, I'm so excited. Welcome to the Iron Man podcast, the space where every man's voice can be heard, deserves to be heard, will be heard. Yo, I'm so excited because we've been kicking off our third season of our podcast. And listen, I want to thank all of you who have been faithful listeners and watchers of our podcast. Listen, we're going, we're growing. People are hearing about it, and people, we're out here doing the thing. And listen, we've had some amazing guests so far, and I promise you, today's guests will not fail. Now, I have to tell you, now we have been going strong, and we have some major interviews that are going to be taking place, some shows up this season. But one of these things, I'm really excited about this guest tonight because he is a articulate man that is changing the world. Literally, I see him doing his thing all over social media. He is well respected, well degreed. And listen, I'm excited to have the doctor. I want to know, is there a doctor in the house somewhere, yo? Is there a doctor? And I think we do have a doctor who's going to be able to talk to us, to shed some light. Yo, listen, he's a motivational speaker. He's a man of faith. He's a philanthropist. He's an author over multiple times. And man, listen, I haven't had the chance to know him purposely. He's one of those exclusive men where you got to kind of go through his assistant and his administrator to kind of get to him. But listen, it was well worth it. Yo, I'm excited to welcome to the Iron Man podcast no other than, I felt like I was in church, right? The no other than. I present to some and introduce to others. Listen, no other than Doctor. Somebody shout, Dr. Eddie Connor. Yo, what's up, man? How are you?
What's going on, bro?
What's up, Dr. Connor?
You live up to your last name. You're literally marshaling us into manhood. So I'm
listen, listen, here we go already. Prolific, man. Are you Kojic? Are you like? I know you're a man of faith. Like, are you Kojic at all, or
I'm Baptist Kojic Coastal. I'm
Baptist Kojic Coastal. Tell me what that is.
I'm a hybrid of all three.
Man,
Baptist roots. Grew up in Kojic as well, and Pentecostal. So wherever the spirit moves, I'm with it.
Listen, oh yeah, that's because you're in Detroit, right?
In the D, man. What
yeah,
up, though?
That's what, cause yeah, y'all a little bit. You just church when you just church in Detroit. It don't matter who.
Okay.
Y'all got everybody in Detroit. Y'all got the Clark sisters. You got everybody else and they mama. And you got everybody in the D. So listen, yeah, you can't help but be Baptist Coastal Kojic. Listen.
Can't help but to be singing and churching, man. That's what it is.
Man, that's what it is, man. Now, listen, I know you're a man of faith, man, and I've seen your stuff on Instagram, on Facebook. Like, man, you're getting all these awards and people, you're in magazines and you're on, all types of stuff. I want the people to know who we are talking to today. Man, tell us, who are you talking to? Like, who are we talking to? Like, where did you come from? What's your story, man?
Yeah, I really sincerely believe that service is the rent we pay for the space we occupy. And so being a servant leader is what it's all about. Is really what I do I've written 14 books now.
Wait, hold up. Wait a minute. Wait. I ain't going to let you skip past that. What?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
How in the world do you find the time to write 14 books?
I've underachieved. I've underachieved for sure.
Like, I want to be like, nigga, 14 books? Like, but you the doctor. I can't say that. I'm a pastor. Now, I'm sorry. I can't say that. Oh, my, 14. Now, I've written about 6. You got 14.
That's more than most.
Like, what are you doing? Like do you just sit and write all day? I'm sorry, I done messed up your whole introduction. I'm sorry, doctor. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I only write based on inspiration. So if I'm not inspired, I'm not writing anything. But so I've only been inspired 14 times. I as I said, writing books, whether it's preaching in churches or whether it's spiritual as well as the secular arena, speaking truth to power. Uh, when you think about social justice and really caring for the least, the lost, the left out, the overlooked, the underserved, the underrepresented. And then professor at a college, done a lot of guest lecturing around the country, whether it's been at Georgetown, whether it's been at Marygrove College, whether it's been at Wayne County Community College District, many of those colleges as well. And it developed a mentoring program for our young brothers called Boys to Books, empowering young men through literacy, leadership, life skills, and enrichment. Worked in Congress for a few years as an assistant, and we developed a resolution that President Obama created to develop My Brother's Keeper. And so just doing the work, grew up in Kingston, Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, real thing, man.
Yeah,
And
real thing, real
faced
thing.
one of my greatest hurdles, circumstances, and challenges. Diagnosed with stage 4 cancer at the age of 15. We had the movie The Color Purple on the screen. I tell you, just like Sophia, all my life I had to fight.
Yeah.
And so to bounce back from a setback, to find the can of cancer, and to believe Psalm 118:17 says, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. I'm blessed. 2023 marks 23 years being cancer free.
What?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm normally not stunned. I have to be honest. I'm normally not speechless, but speech. Look, I'm messing up my words. Speechless, but no, I'm normally not speechless. But let me you. So you wrote 14. You've written 14 books. Number one, you worked in government. You've helped push through legislation. You have you're out here like with mentoring young people. You done fought cancer, dude. Like beam me up, Jesus. It's like what else is there to do in life? Like what what else is there to do? Like you're doing it. How old are you? Mind? Can I ask how old are you?
I'm older than Michael B. Jordan, younger than Michael Jordan.
Yo, okay, I like that.
I'm older than Jaden Smith, younger than Will Smith.
Listen. I love. I mean, yeah, I like you already. See how articulate he is, and see how he does it. You must be running for office sometime soon. You got to be. That was the most political answer that I've heard.
No
Well,
no
skilled.
office for me. I worked in Congress, so I saw how dirty of a game it is. I want no parts of it.
Listen, man, you sound articulate enough to play the game, though. You sound articulate. A yes answer, but no answer at the same time, man. Like, yo, you're out here, man. So what pushes you? Like you're well over. Now, I don't want to call you an overachiever, but you are somebody who is out here doing it. Like where does your motivation come from? Where does that come from? Because like there's so many men or so many people out here in general who wish and dream and they make New Year resolutions and they make plans. They get the vision boards, but oftentimes lack execution. And when that happens, their dreams become nightmares, and they wind up living their worst nightmares because they have all these dreams that never actually actualize, come to life, or manifest because they lack execution. So I believe something has to push you. Like you have to know your why. You got to know why you are doing these things. And I'm just curious to know why.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I agree with you. I have overachieved. I'm the least likely. I was, my favorite two classes in school were gym and lunch. I love to chase the girls in gym and then sit down and eat with them at lunch. My grades reflected that. My guidance counselor told me when I was 17 years old that I wasn't going to go to college. Don't think about community college. Pick up a trade.
Mm.
The same lady who told me I'd never go to college had to show up to my graduation from college, to where now I've officially earned a PhD, but for her it stood for a play hater degree. And it came from everything I'm not became everything I am. My biological father never visited me one day in the hospital when I was battling cancer. The people I thought were praying for me were literally praying on me, sitting on the sideline, expecting my demise. Nobody thought much of me, much less I didn't think much of myself. And I'm a living witness that if you think little of yourself, you'll do little for yourself. But when you change your mind and begin to think much of yourself, you'll think much. When you think much of yourself, you'll do much for yourself and other people as a result. I think motivation is what gets you going, but determination is what keeps you growing. And I had to move into a place of determination to move into a level of execution. I was the biggest procrastinator in life. You know, I would read, I'd wait till finals in college to read a 300-page book and then throw the book at the wall and be mad at myself only. And so when I move from a level of procrastination to execution, say, procrastination is the false belief that God's going to give you another opportunity to do what he told you to do today. I can't move into a place of arrogancy. I have to move into a place of effectual change each and every single day, getting better, growing, holding myself accountable, having other accountability partners to make sure that I meet the standard that I know I need to set for myself.
Well, guys, this was the Good Podcast Show. I thank everybody for joining us. The doctor, may the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent. I haven't heard that one in a long time. While we're absent,
one from another.
There was one that my grandmother used to say. She said, "Now unto him that is able
Yes,
to keep us from falling
yes,
and to present us faultless with exceeding joy." Oh, Jesus, I done forgot.
To the only wise God.
To the only wise God.
On this podcast.
Yes, sir.
I feel power on this thing.
Listen. I am amazed. Like I am amazed at your works, and you're slick with this tongue stuff. Like you got it. Like so growing up like that, man, how were you able to how have you been able to articulate and tell your story the way you have? I met somebody today, and as I was speaking at a school, and there was a young brother, sharp brother, and he talked about the power of just telling your story. And he often said one of the reasons why many men's and black and brown men's stories are not told is because we don't typically know how to articulate them. And so our narrative is not seen, it's not heard. And when you do have someone who is daring to speak up, it kind of gets lost in the hustle and bustle of everybody else's story. So I'm curious, what has equipped you in order to tell your story the way you have, and how have you used that to help other people tell theirs?
Yeah, I think it really is coming from a place of um, I had to write my book. First book that I wrote was called Finding the Can in Cancer. And it was literally me writing a book with a dollar and a dream in my name in a dorm room, doing what I didn't feel like doing. My mother told me I got to write my story. It's not for me, it's to bless somebody. And I
Mm,
realized at that time, somebody's waiting for me to become who I am so they can become who they're supposed to be.
mm,
And once I began to start writing my story, I began to get on platforms to be able to share it. And I've shared it so much that it's become so, in many cases, routine and ingrained within me that it takes me back. It gives me flashback images and elements of my life every single time that I begin to share it. And so I think we have to develop what is our why, who are we, where are we going, who do we want coming with us, what does our journey look like. Most people don't take the time to ask those questions, to be metacognitive, to think about what they're thinking about, to be introspective, to be a reflection type of oriented individual. And as a result of it, we stay stifled and stymied. There's a quote that suggests there's a crown over our head that one day will grow tall enough to wear. And that's not just physically, it's socially, it's emotionally, it's intellectually, it's spiritually, down those alleys of life, so to speak. And I think as we do the work internally, as we begin to develop and classify and share our story, the oral tradition of who it is that we are and where we come from, and why it is that we've experienced these vicissitudinous trials, then we'll be able to speak truth to power and share it unabashedly and unashamedly. You know, like they say, if you tell my story, it's journalism, but if I tell my own story, it's a testimony.
let me go get a dictionary for vicissitude and Man, do you just kind of have this stuff in your pocket, like already, just like bam, like I'm ready. I like you just bring it out. Like how do you do this? I am literally amazed as someone who speaks and travels. I'm like, yeah, don't put me on a lineup with him. Don't do that. Like don't put me
No,
up.
it's the other way around. It's the other way around.
I'm like, don't put me up on a lineup with him. But you said one other word that I couldn't even. I was like, whoo, I haven't heard that word since graduate school. Like, okay, well let's go back where I had to pull out my phone and try to pull up the dictionary. I said, okay, what? Well,
Oh man, you
well.
got it.
So, man, tell me about your passion for mentoring. Why do
Yeah.
you think mentoring is so important?
I think it's important. I think life teaches you in two ways, mistakes and mentors. It's better for you to learn from the mistakes of a mentor than for you to bump your head in and make your own. And so, understanding that we have a responsibility to give back, we've got to be accountable to our brothers. We have to realize that we are our brother's keeper, our sister's protector. And so, I grew up without a father. When he was there, when he was when he was present physically, he was absent spiritually, socially, and emotionally. And so, to thanks be to God that I was able to have other positive male mentors come into my life and help me along the way. But there was always a gaping hole in my life to where the 13, 14, 15-year-old boy, the trauma of what it is that I experienced, was not affirmed.
Mm.
And so, being able to give back to help other young brothers move forward and stand in proxy for an absentee father, to show them that reading is not an effeminate thing. You can get an education. You can lead and succeed, and none of that makes you less than a man. It makes you all that and more. And so, I just took the time to share and to create an after school program called Boys to Books, empowering young brothers through literacy, leadership, and life skills enrichment. Show them, yes, the hard tactical things of life, but also the soft skills. How to look at somebody in the eye and have confidence and shake their hand and introduce yourself. How to tie a tie and be tied to success. How to actually wear a tailored suit and not just wear a suit when you're going to meet a judge.
Mm.
How to connect with a police officer and not let it be your first time when you getting handcuffed. So to show our brothers that there's value in themselves, they got to love themselves and know their worth. And that's not just for sisters, it's for bold, bright, brilliant brothers as well.
Mm. Bold, bright, brilliant brothers as well. Yo,
Mm-hmm.
that's dope, man. I'm curious to know, like, what feeds your soul. What is something that you do for, you sound like you give out a lot. What is something that you do to feed you, to give you life, like to strengthen you?
Yeah, over the years, I've gotten better with self care, because I realized that I got to put myself on my schedule and I
I gotta
can't
put
pour
me
from
first. I gotta put
right,
me first. I just about to,
right.
I
I gotta
gotta put
put
me
me.
first.
I think that's the inward cry of most men, but we so tough that we won't even tap into it. But I realize you can't pour from an empty cup, and so
Yeah.
many times we're giving ourselves to we got people in our lives who are making more withdrawals than deposits, and as a
Mm.
result, we always end up bankrupt as a recourse. And so, whether it is eating right, whether it is the proper sleep, whether it is just taking some time to meditate, powering down the phone and power down all that other stuff. And it's something I religiously do. I go to the gym. I know I'm doing some hard laborious work and picking up weights and this, that, the other, but it becomes a second sanctuary for me, as a way to relieve stress and
Mm.
to tap into opportunities to explore mental health and just to better myself. Whether that's reading as well. So,
Better yourself. How
oh
much better can you be, bro? Like,
man,
how much better
please.
can you be?
I'm not flashy because I'm flawed. So I, I'm trying to get better. If you open the doors of the church, I will gladly step on in, brother.
I'm
I'm
not.
trying to get better for sure.
I'm not flashy because I am flawed. I don't know whether to
Yeah,
write a
man.
book or to get ready to preach a sermon. I don't. I don't. I just don't know. I don't. I don't. You know.
Uh,
I don't know. Like which. I don't know what like you have these one liners like you just like and I'm like I'm not ready. I didn't come prepared for this. Like I didn't
man,
come prepared.
you throwing alley oop. I got a dunk, so you know.
Dude, well, I like it. Now you're talking my language. Now you throw the ball,
Yes,
I'm not
sir.
gonna miss. Like, right? I'm not gonna miss. I hear that.
Facts.
I hear that, man. So you succeed in a lot of things, and I'm honored to even have the chance to talk to you, man. What would you say to the brother that's out there, let's say who maybe hasn't accomplished all that he desires, like, and he feels like he's a failure. He looks on social media, he looks at his family sometimes, and maybe they're disappointed. He thinks they're disappointed, and he's looking at his dreams, and it's like, yo, I'm not doing, or I'm not doing what I feel like I need to be. I'm not where I am in life, financially, socially, physically, economically, spiritually, relationally. Like, what would you say to him?
You know, I think comparison is a thief of joy. And one thing that I believe is that um, sometimes we're competing with people we need to be learning from. And so I think understanding that relationships are the new currency. Who is it that's within my sphere of influence? Who should I reach out to that I admire or I am inspired by? Then also, what's in my throes of control? What two or three things can I do now to move the needle in my life? And I believe it begins with your mindset. You know, a new year means nothing with the same old mindset,
Mm,
and being able to take your life to the next level to hold yourself accountable. There's some things that we've dropped the ball on. There's some things that we need to develop with our mental health, with our relationships, with how we view ourselves, with how we affirm ourselves. And oftentimes we will remain stifled looking at other people live their life when it's a highlight reel. And we think that's their life every single day. We got one thing we got to realize is that social media is nothing but more than an ESPN highlight reel. Everybody shows the good things that they do, but nobody really shows the struggle. It's like Drake, you wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym. And so I think you
right.
got to find what it is that is your specific gym for you to become a gym. Maybe it's you developing your 501c3 nonprofit organization. Maybe it is you building your business. Maybe it is you writing that book. What have you procrastinated on? What have you been negligent with that you now need to stir up your gift? And I believe as you stir up your gift, it's going to create room for you and bring you before great men and women as a result.
Well, let's like man. I always say this to people that your decisions determine your destiny, right? But
Mm.
and
That's good.
oftentimes, yeah, in my head. I'm trying to think as many one-liners that I can to match. Kind of what kind of match your energy tonight. During this show. So, yeah, your decisions. That's the best one I can come up with at this moment. But yeah, your decisions do determine your destiny. And oftentimes, men are stuck in holding patterns because of traumatic experiences, and as a result, a lack of faith, a lack of trust, a lack of belief in themselves that they have what it takes to succeed and to win. I wrote a book called "Win from Within," and
Mm.
in that book I talk about I give men the tools to um, overcome their past so that they can conquer their present and dominate in their future.
That's good.
And in order to win externally, it has to start within. It has to start within. You have to deal with you. You got to be brave enough. You have to be bold enough to face to face your fear, to
Mm.
face the voices in your head that scare you. You have to be able to speak to things that, that really knock you off of your square in order for you to become the best version that you were created to be. Um, but as it relates to like your mistakes and what you may have done, and because there's some brothers out there that have some real obstacles where, maybe because of their life they were incarcerated and they have a felony, and they have, there's so many things and layers, and ultimately beyond whatever the layers are, if you are committed, if you are consistent, half of the battle is consistency, right? Half of the
Yeah.
battle is consistency, just continuing to show up and not accepting no for an answer. Man, Doc, what was a time that somebody really tried to block you or told you no, you couldn't? Like this is beyond you.
Oh yeah, well, there's the guidance counselors I mentioned, but there's another instance. Uh, there was a particular few people in public relations who said, my story didn't really have much value. I only think I had one book to my name at the time. They were managing some of the greatest of amongst us. If I were to name names, you know who they were. And I had to understand that no means new opportunity.
Mm,
Rejection is direction, rejection is redirection. And what I began to do is use that negative steam to power my dream. I love the challenge of being told no. I love the challenge of people thinking that I can't do something, because I'm going to delete the letter T off the word can and turn into what I can do. Never was the
shut your
greatest
mouth.
reader, so I always read the word impossible as I'm possible. And so to see that and to understand that I can overcome obstacles, uh, this is what it's all about. And I think that's what we as men have to understand and do. We have to, yes, tap into our emotions. We have to tap into our vulnerability. We have to understand that vulnerability is not weakness, it's strength. But we also have to get to the place to say, you know what, you can't fight what you refuse to face. You can't
Mm,
address what you won't confess. You can't heal from what you refuse to deal with. You always trip over things when you're ego tripping. You always fall. And so if we don't really address our pain and even some of the ramifications behind it, we'll always bleed on people who didn't cut us,
mm.
rather than cutting our teeth into our purpose. And so I think that's really what it comes down to. It boils down to with that aspect. Uh, what may have been painful can ultimately become purposeful.
Yeah, man. Listen, yo, I don't even want to mess with that. Listen, you just said a mouthful that I just think it speaks volumes. Man, how can people follow you? How can they get in touch with you? Where can we see you?
Yeah, I like to say the revolution not only be televised, it'll be digitized. And
Man,
so
jeez.
connect with me at on my website, eddieconnor.com, EDDIECONNOR. Put some respect on my name, CONNOR.com. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We don't stop at Eddie Connor Jr. EDDIECONNOR JR. And then connect with me. Join my academy where we empower you to soar into success and purpose. It's called the Eagles Academy. We're causing you to mount up on wings as an eagle. I turn your purpose into profit, your ideas into income, your contacts
Let's
into contracts,
go. Let's
the
go.
restoration, the transformation, what it is. www.theeaglesacademy.com.
Yo, did y'all get that? Like that's yeah. Can I take a class on how to be as smooth as you? Like, is there? Do you teach that in the academy? I'm a speaker myself, but I'm like, I just need it just rolls off your tongue like you just smooth. Like, yo, I'm like,
I'm
how
glad you asked. We talk about motivational speaking and really how to share your story, developing your identity as a speaker, all that in the academy. Yeah.
yeah, now see that I know how to do. But I need this, I need the one liner class. Like it I just need like a one liner class. Like that's the Baptist side of you. That's what that is. That's the Baptist side. Them Baptist y'all the Baptist preachers, they them one liners is it, boy. Like you got it. You have it. man, I'm just like,
Yeah. That's a lot of media training too, because the Baptist preachers got a 3-point sermon. When you're doing media, you got to put it into one.
listen, let me know. I want to take that class. Everybody, Dr. Connor will be doing a one-liner class exclusively on the I Am Man podcast. All right, listen, I love y'all. Y'all have a good one. Yo, follow Dr. Connor. He's amazing. Yo, peace out.